Hello everyone, my name is JaCubAsAlways and I am the advocate and head coach for your reigning, defending, undisputed APA champions, the Green Bay Pikachus, and this is week number 4 of the APA. This is the team building portion. Depending on how long the battle, as per usual, it might be combined with the battle, this team builder, I should say. So if it's a shorter battle, expect it to be combined with the team builder. But if it's a longer battle, like 30 plus minutes, then it's going to be separate for sure, because that's too long a video. Anything more than like 40 to 45 minutes, it's too long. So anyway, let's get started. And also, if it is combined with the team builder, or the battle I should say, there'll be a timestamp below just saying, hey, you can skip the team builder, go straight to the battle if you want, unless you want to watch the builder and stuff like that. But anyway, we're facing Elite for Dan, the head coach of the Chelsea Cloysters. Hope I didn't butcher the name, but if I did, I apologize. Make sure check him out in the description down below to his Twitter and YouTube, as well as the APA Twitter and YouTube, if I have been putting that down below. I hope I have. But anyway, his team is kind of interesting, but let's get over it. As these start, we're going to go over our 11 Pokemon, his 11 Pokemon, Z Pokemon, and the 6 why we're bringing the 6 we're bringing. Anyway, let's get started. Our Pokemon, I'm sure you probably know, even though we made some transactions last week, are Zygarde 50%, Mega Manectric, Fortress, Azelf, Jellicent, Nihilego, Emboar, Licky, Liepard, Articuno, and Tapu Bulu. Our Z Pokemon are Zygarde 50 and Tapu Bulu. His Pokemon his team, I should say, is Gengar, Mega Lopunny, Sylveon, Latias, Krookodile, Empoleon, Rotom-Mow, Cryogonal, Regirock, Staraptor, and Talonflame. Now, what I find very interesting about his team is he's got some nice bird spam with Talonflame and Staraptor, which is a big threat to our team. That's one of the first things I noticed for sure. And the second thing I noticed, he kind of needs to bring at least one Choice Scarf user in either Latias or Gengar, because that'll outspeed Zygarde 50% at +1. I guess if he's expecting us to bring Adamant Zygarde, he can bring Jolly Crocodile to outspeed at +1, but Jolly Crook doesn't really do a whole lot to Zygarde, so if it's Jolly Scarf Crook, it's not going to do a whole lot because it doesn't get Ice Fang or anything like that. So I fully anticipate either Gengar or Latias, more than likely Latias, to be a Choice Scarf user. So I have some things to bait, like a possible trick from a Latias, so that could be pretty interesting for sure. We'll get into that going, but we're going to go over our potential lead, and then our 3 defensive Pokemon, and then our offensive Pokemon to hopefully win the game. So this is more of a balanced team that we built. I should say I built with my good friend Mark, aka the Scruffy Fox. I need to start putting his Twitter and YouTube in the description down below. He doesn't upload a whole lot, but he sends out some quality tweets, so make sure you give him a follow on Twitter at least. Big wrestling fan too, if you're into wrestling, so I'm a wrestling fan too, so yeah. Anyway, let's get started with the team, shall we? So first up, we got lead Claymaker, the Nihilego with the Focus Sash. It's similar to what we brought last week, but we don't have Toxic Spikes. We just have Rocks on this because that makes the most sense. Rocks hurt his team, and we need to make Rocks a priority because Talonflame and Staraptor are such big threats. One of our Pokemon can deal with them pretty well. In fact, we actually brought more of a defensive Pokemon, defensive electric check, or defensive flying check, I should say, this week for sure. I could have brought Nihilego in such a role to a degree, but I didn't want to. I wanted to go more offensive because this thing can actually hurt his team and pressure his team quite a lot. We just have to watch out for Scarf Crook. We need to watch out. I think Crook's going to be Assault Vest this game. I just do. That plus defensive Sylveon and Empoleon actually make a pretty good wall core versus my team. So we need to eliminate and weaken those threats as soon as possible, and Sylveon does a great job of doing that. We could have brought like a lure knockoff set in luring Krookodile in, because the 2 switch-ins to Nihilego, more than likely, like 10 out of 10 times, it's going to be one of these 2 Pokemon. It's going to be Empoleon or Krookodile. Probably spit out Empoleon and then Assault Vest Krookodile. Those 2 things just make the most sense to my team. So I could see Crook being pursued too to trap Azelf, because Azelf is a big threat to his team. So, and if he doesn't realize that, then he might not bring Krookodile. But if he realizes that, oh boy, we need to weaken that Krookodile as soon as we can, so our Azelf doesn't get pursuit trapped. Because spoiler alert, we are bringing Azelf. We're actually battling Dan in about 20 minutes or so. So I hopefully can explain everything relatively well in this video, but if we leave something out, I'd probably say it during the battle video or anything, or during the battle itself. So yeah, kind of just standard in Heligo. Can weaken his team quite a bit. I went Dazzling Gleam over, I went Dazzling Gleam over like Grass Knot because Dazzling Gleam hits Crook and it hits Latias. Dazzling Gleam does the same exact damage as Grass Knot would to Crook. I could have won Power Gem, believe it or not, for the Krogonal, but Krogonal isn't too big of an issue, especially with having Licky Licky on our side, which we'll get to in a little bit. It's part of our defensive core this week, so honestly, should work out decently well here. This thing should be able to hopefully work as a good anti-lead and be able to disrupt some damage, get rocks up. Hopefully he doesn't, this has enough speed obviously for Staraptor because it just makes sense. So, like we can hit, the thing is, the only thing we can't hit on his team is Krogonal, which I kind of could see coming, but at the same time with something like Emboar, Articuno, Licky Licky, even the Heligo, it doesn't do much in the Heligo, and the Heligo can hit it back pretty hard with a Power Gem, so I don't necessarily anticipate Krogonal to come. And even something like Fortress, he'd be forced to run HP Fire, and we could run an Akaberry or just Spadaf, take that, and then Oko with the Gyro Ball because it's got paper thin defenses, so, well, physical defense. Special defense is very, very fair, especially with its HP buff. Its special defense is actually quite good, actually. So it's got pretty good Spadaf, but that's not the point. The point is I'm trying to make is I don't necessarily see Krogonal coming. It could, though, as like a Scarf Zygarde check, but even then, if it's Scarfed, I don't know with our bulk, with our Zygarde, I don't know if it's going to Oko us if it's not an offensive item, so we'll have to see, wait and see what happens there, but even after like a Rocks, I think +1 E speed knocks it out, if I am not mistaken. I'll calc during the battle if I have to, but yeah, that's our lead in the Heligo. Next up, let's go to our first defensive core. I knew I needed to bring this defensively this week, Mega Manectric. It's just such a solid check to his bird spam in Staraptor and Talonflame, and since our steel types weak, they're not weak to flying, but like it's neutral to flying and quad weak to fire, we couldn't bring Fortress really this week. Yeah, Akaberry could have came, but like Staraptor's still gonna hit it extremely hard, so I don't really think that's the best bring under the sun, especially when he's got Latias that can set up on it. Gengar could just hit it really hard. Sylveon with HP Fire. A Trick Rotom-Mow. Just so many Pokemon he could just beat, and I don't necessarily like that for sure. So Mega Manectric's definitely our best bird check. We have some other ones with, if we can intimidate on them, but this is, we need to Mega, so our priorities in the match are getting rocks up and Mega evolving Mega Manectric. I know I say that like quite a lot with Mega Manectric, but it's actually really, it's more important this week than any other week since I've said that. I think I said that week 1 and 2, but week 1 I said that, but now it's really important this week because we're facing bird spam, and if he brings both, if he brings like really hyper offensive bird spam, if he doesn't bring Crocodile, even if he brings Crocodile, as long as he doesn't lead Crocodile, I might lead Mega Manectric, because we need the Intimidate as soon as we can. And in combination with our next, it's got Volt Switch for momentum and to pretty much annihilate his birds. Toxic for a potential Latias switching or a Sylveon or a Crook switching, so that's pretty good. And then, yeah, he won't switch in Empoleon, I doubt, like on this, unless he's like Wakanberry or something like this, or unless he's a Defiant Sword Stance with Wakan, something silly like that. I doubt he would switch in Empoleon, but he could be Defiant. Defiant Defog is a possible thing now with Ultra Sun and Moon Tutors, so that's pretty interesting for sure. Signal Beam to hit Crocodile and the Latias switch in potentially. This is all we really need this matchup, so that's cool. Also, I could have brought Grassman and Heligo for Red Rock, but I'm not feeling that. I don't think Red Rock will be good here. I know it gets Ice Punch, but if we're like sub-coil Zygarde, that's I don't really like that for sure. Could be kind of problematic if he's like Curse Rest. Well, no, if he's Curse Rest, he's gonna be Sleep Talk with a Rock move, so that would be really bad. That wouldn't be good for him. That would be like, that's not good, I don't think so. Toxic just for spammable. If he doesn't bring Heal Bell, Sylveon, everything is going to get worn down pretty quickly. But next up for our next defensive Pokemon, we got Bulky Brienne, the Tapu Bulu. This is our best switch-in to Mega Lopunny. Nothing to it KOs unless it's Fake Out Last Resort. That's the only thing that can 2-hit KO us. After Rocks, I should say. Well, Last Resort if he's adamant, probably go to a KO without rocks being up. But besides that, nothing else. Like, we take hits very, very well. We can stay healthy with the grassy terrain, and then Rocky won't be taking him chip damage on him. So he probably will bring Ice Punch for Zygarde, but at the same time, like, Ice Punch in return do the same thing to Tapu Bulu. So that's very good to know. And in turn, we can do a lot of damage back with Horn Leech. His switch into this more than likely is going to be the Latias. Gengar's not going to be appreciating it. Empoleon not really as well. Rotom to a degree could potentially switch in, and then his birds, of course. So we have Stone Edge. I don't care about missing here. Like, I'm not afraid to run Stone Edge. It's 25 more power than Rock Slide. I need that power right now, especially since we're not offensive. We definitely need that power from Stone Edge. Because we need that damage, and we could potentially like catch Talon of Flame switching into us because of Quad Resist Grass. Staraptor probably wouldn't switch in because it's still gonna be, unless he's like Intimidate, then he would. But then if he's Intimidate, I'm not really afraid of a Staraptor. Mega Manectric will be in Licky will be taking hits all day if he's that, more than likely. But yeah, we have just a little bit of speed investment just for creeping on Sylveon, and if Empoleon wants to creep us or something like that. So. Yeah, Mega Horn hits his Latias and his Rotom switches, his Stone Edge hits his Flying type switches, and Horn Leech hits everything else, and Synthesis is just there to stay healthy. I could have ran something like Leech Seed, but in case his Rotom switches in, I'd rather just do this. And plus we have enough speed to outspeed like Min Speed Rotom, not Min Speed Rotom, but Rotom with the 0 speed investment, so I thought that was important if he just wants to go pure on defensive, try to take on Bulu better, but he should realize we get Mega Horn. And plus, this is actually a really pretty good Lottie switch in and to deal with Lottie decently well, I'd say. So that's important. Hopefully he's not like a Reflect type. I don't know why you would be Reflect type, Mono Reflect type with Psychic, because I know our Dark type's Liepard and everything like that. But, like, he wouldn't be able to touch us if he was Stored Power. I doubt he's going to go Stored Power here, because Punishment I think he gets Punishment. I think Liepard gets Punishment. If I'm wrong, Punishment Liepard could be an issue for him. But yeah, I doubt he goes Mono-type. I think he'll be Trick, Scarf, Lottie. And this is what we want. We want him... Okay, we don't want him to trick us a Scarf, but we kind of want him to as well. Because what's awesome about that is then +1 Zygarde outspeeds Lottie. Like, he either has to make Leaky not being annoying by tricking the Scarf, or he's got to have his check to Zygarde, making Licky could just literally knock off the Scarf too upon switching or something like that, or we can protect baiting in the Scarf, and then if he's Trick, we just go into Zygarde, and he can't trick it because we're Z Crystal. So, and the same with, like, I think Gengar either gets Trick or Switcheroo, one of the two, but this is our third defensive Pokemon of the game, and it's our last defensive Pokemon. We're not bringing defense after this, but a special defensive Pokemon because it handles all of his special threats like Rotom, like the Empoleon, Sylveon, Cryogonal. Like, Cryogonal is kind of an issue for the team besides Licky, and we can Toxic and knock off things, Wish and Protect. An issue kinda would be if we were to get burned, but not really at the same time, because Knockoff's not going to be doing all that much damage unless he's like sub on a Pokemon. I don't really care if Licky gets burned at all. If he's sub, then it's kind of annoying, but if he's not sub, I don't really care if Licky gets burned, because we can still eat up hits. Leftovers will be nullifying that, especially if we have grassy terrain up, we'll be getting HP back, so that's really important to note. Wish is great here because we can just Wish spam to like our Bulu, to our Mega Manectric, to our Zygarde. Nihilego and Azelf, spoiler, Ring Azelf too, aren't really going to be recipients of Wish, but everything else, that'll be really good to have. But yeah, Knockoff and Toxic are the only thing we need. If he doesn't bring Heal Bell Sylveon, which I think he should, yeah, this thing is going to be really great here. The only thing I don't want to get burned this matchup is Zygarde and Bulu. So if those things don't get burned, we're in pretty good shape, I'd say, for sure. But yeah, this would be great. It's just a solid defense Pokemon. Like, he could bring 2 Trick Scarfers, but if he does that, like, that's good for him. Like, I will try to play around that all I can. I can always switch into Mega Manectric on Rotom as long as grassy terrain's not up to, and kind of pivot around that, but at the same time, not really. Well, it all depends. We might switch into Nihilego on that. Because we don't care if we get a scarf after we get rocks up, honestly. Having a scarf would actually be kind of clutch, I'm not even going to lie. So we set up our rocks, then we switch into Rotom on a trick. That'd be great to have a scarf late game then. Because I don't want to run both. I wanted to run Sash to get him up. And then I'll switch into Lottie if I have to try to prevent the setup or prevent the trick. So that'd be good. I could see him bring 2 Scarfers here for sure. But yeah, that's Licky Licky. Next up, we have our win condition of the game. We'll talk about that last. But yeah, we're going to actually talk about Scarf Elf here. I wanted the Scarfer to offensively check Mega Lopunny because there's no guarantee that we will be able to get up a Dragon Dance to offensively check it that way. So Azelf works perfectly here. It also works perfectly to check his Scarfers, being Latias and Gengar, potential Scarfers, or even Cryogonal. We have U-turn just to have a nice Volt Turn core with Azelf and Mega Manectric here, but this is mostly there to check offensively Mega Lopunny and check his Scarfers and Gengar and Latias, or what I expect. Dazzling Gleam for Latias, Psychic for Gengar and Lopunny. Because late game, this could be really effective. Thunderbolt for the Empoleon switch and Dazzling Gleam for Crocodile as well. But more than likely, I'm just going to be hitting U-turn a lot until Crocodile goes down at least. I want to bait him into thinking that I'm Scarf, first and foremost, and then we just pivot direct. I'm running Timid, by the way, because I don't care about the more damage output with the U-turn. I want to be able to take some quick attacks and a Fake Out and do a quick attack from Mega Lopunny if that comes down to it. So we don't want to lower our defenses or special defense at all, so we want to be able to take a hit if we need to. But yeah, U-turn is just there. Nice pivot, and we can just switch directly on the Kirk switch because we're not getting Pursuit Trap. We can't lose this elf here. It's too crucial, this match with Mega Lopunny being around. So we definitely just, unless he doesn't bring Kirk, then we'll just be reckless with Psychic, but versus Mega Lopunny, that is. But if he brings Kirk, we're clicking U-turn more often than not. But yeah, it's just there. You kind of know what it's going to do to his team. I wish I could have brought Trick on it. I think it gets Trick. Oh yeah, it gets Trick. We could have won Trick if we wanted to, but I needed Thunderbolt, Psychic, Dazzling Gleam, and U-turn in case it came down to it. Because Dazzling Gleam hits both Mega Lopunny and Crook if it comes down to it, and Latias too, so that's cool. But yeah, that's really important. But next up, let's go to our True Wincon, a Rod, the Zygarde. I was running a little bit of a different spread here. I was actually I had the same amount of attack stat at 148, but I realized I could go a little bit less speed. I don't think it's going to be too crucial here. If he brings Rotom, I think he might bring him more of a defensive spread. He could bring Scarf, don't get me wrong, but that does not outspeed Zygarde. So it's not if we're Jolly Zygarde enough to outspeed it, if he thinks we're going to creep it, that doesn't outspeed it. Plus, he would just be enough speed for max speed Bulu anyway, probably. Unless he wants to go for Scarf Articuno, which would be silly, because I guess he could do that, because I brought Scarf last week, Articuno, but I don't think, well, he doesn't know that yet, because my battle's not up, so, because we haven't battled, because I didn't upload yet, it's Sunday, so, yeah, he doesn't know we brought Scarf Articuno unless he watched the game, but he wouldn't know it's Scarf based on the game, so that's important, actually, so, he doesn't know that, so he probably would just run enough speed for Scarf Bulu, more than likely, so that's important to know. So we have enough speed for a Crocodile and Rotom outspeeding our Bulu, so we just have a little bit more speed on that. So I'm being a little more aggressive with our speed creeps. I just wanted to go Adamant so we could go a little bit more bulk, if that makes sense. So I just wanted more bulk so we could set up easier on the likes of Crocodile. The worst thing Crook can really do to us is Toxic us, which would kind of suck, but if we're going for game, as long as he doesn't have a lot of Protect Mons, which the only thing I think would run Protect is Sylveon, that'd be important. And he doesn't really have a good 1,000 arrow switch in, so I think he'll be Intimidate Crook anyway instead of Scarf Moxie, so that's important to note. But yeah, this is bulky Zygarde with the Groundinium Z at +1. After Rocks, it kills Sylveon unless he has Protect. But we could honestly, if we are predicting Protect, we could click Dragon Dance again and then fire off Rizzy Move and annihilate him. But that is like a risky 50-50 based on how the game goes. And if he's revealed Protect. If he's revealed Protect, I'm clicking Dragon Dance again on him. But if he hasn't revealed well, we'll see how the game goes, depending on what type of Sylveon he is. I just gotta figure it out. If he's like a spec set, then I'll click 1,000 arrows 100%, but or Tectonic Rage at +1. But if he's not, then we'll figure it out. We'll see how the game plays out. But Extreme Speed is a nice clean-up sweeper at the end. We need to, first and foremost, we can honestly, depending on where his Latias is at for HP and stuff, we can check that with Adamant +1 Extreme Speed. With Gengar, we can't because it's immune to Extreme Speed. So we need to eliminate Gengar's Scarf more than I think Gengar is a better Scarfer than Latias here actually, because it can check Zygarde 100%. So at +1 because Extreme Speed can't kill. Whereas if it's a low Latias, low HP like 25% or something like that, we can chip it off at +1 with Extreme Speed. So he's got to be careful to how he plays around that. But anyway, that is the team. We have Claymaker, then the Heligo, Scruffy, the Mega Manectric, Bulky Brand, the Tapu Bulu, A1X Alex, the Licky Licky, hashtag Graham Sucks, the Azelf, and A-Rod, the Zygarde. So let me know in the comments down below how you think we're going to do and who you think our hashtag most valuable Pokemon will be. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I love you all so very much. Adios, everyone. Bye-bye.